All right, how's everybody doing this afternoon? It is the Osmo.com NHL DFS Strategy Show, and we have just two games to talk about for today in a pretty brutal stretch of the NHL schedule. So we'll have another one of these on, let's see, Thursday it is. I got my days all mixed up because Tuesdays are usually big slates, but not the case today, obviously. We'll still go over the normal stuff and a couple interesting things for tonight's slate. Hopefully, if you play on DraftKings, you've got some extra money in your account and you're not waiting to get paid out. I guess it sounds like it is a block shot that should have been a save, or someone should have been credited with the block, and Burns should be credited with another shot on goal and the bonus. So I would assume that gets figured out before lock. I don't really know though. I don't really know. So yeah, I saw late last night, or I guess early this morning, woke up and checked the scores and just assumed it would be fixed by this afternoon, and it is not. So that also, makes the lineup study info potentially inaccurate. They pull it at some point during the night. So we'll take a look at the contest, even though they're still live on DraftKings, and then maybe look at some FanDuel stuff, talk about free stuff. Today it is the ownership projections. So here you guys go. Ownership projections, if you want to follow along, obviously very important for any slate, but they're especially necessary for these short ones, and I've had some success incorporating them into my process for these shorter slates. Have had some luck on these for sure. So it's not a great slate just from like actual gameplay. I don't know how much hockey I'm actually going to watch tonight, but a chance to make some money and a chance to maybe get into some of these higher stakes. I'm trying to get a little bit more volume on this slate, and on DraftKings and FanDuel. We'll play some over on Yahoo as well. They're the sponsor of the show. I like playing over there, a little bit of plus minus. So go support Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Promo code OSMO will get you up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Here is what Yahoo's got going on for today. $150 to first in their $12 lower management fee than what you're going to find elsewhere. That's about 75% of what you're going to get on most DraftKings and FanDuel contests. So take advantage. Play over on Yahoo. Not going to find a ton of pros over there. There's a few. One notable one, Brick, our friend. I'm sure he's in here at some point. He plays like everything on every site, every sport. So not a ton of great players unless they're playing under different usernames. But anyways, Yahoo is a very good place to play. So go support them. They support us. It is only right. Just some stuff we should also mention. Cheat sheets. I do these every morning. If you guys want to go check those out, those are free. So if you're not a premium subscriber yet, if you haven't used promo code Hit the Ice to get 50% off your first week of any Osmo Plus weekly package, this is kind of what we got going on for the free stuff. Plus, again, today, ownership projections will also be free. So each day we kind of unlock one piece to give you a look at what's going on behind the paywall, and we've got a bunch of promo codes going on. We've also got the live promo code. Actually, let me pull this up. I keep forgetting to it's promo code LIV for the Super Bowl. I gotta find this. Anyways, it's promo code LIV, and I believe you get Platinum Monthly the first month for $54 instead of $89.95. Let's see. Here we go. this is what it is. Promo code LIV to get all access Osmo Plus Platinum Monthly for $54. There you go. Nightbot helping me out as well. So it's right there. Nightbot's got it down. This goes away once the Super Bowl kicks off. So you got a few more days. We've got showdown projections and ownership projections. So I'm excited to play and try to compete for this $1 million over on DK. And I'm sure I'll be playing whatever sites have single game contests, because this is all we got for NFL for about 7 months after this, and it'll be hopefully not too long of 7 months. Hopefully MLB will go well. I know we're just starting to talk about what we're building up for MLB in the coming year. We've got, about less than 2 months until MLB starts. So there will still be plenty of NHL content once the regular season is over. We'll still be running projections and ownership throughout the playoffs. I'll be playing pretty much everything. I love playing NHL. It's my best sport, and so you will not be slighted if you've got an NHL season pass. Last night, even though some of the contests are not done, I don't think DK has paid out since I started. Nope, it has not. So let's go to the $10. Usually I like to look at the multi-entry tournaments. So this is not live. If the scoring was correct right now, this would be how it would finish. BR Chief is your first place winner. Sorelli, Kucherov, Stamkos, kind of an unconventional Tampa stack. 2 Tampa 1 guys plus Sorelli. He got a 0 anyways, so it didn't really matter. Pedersen, Miller, and Horvat power play stack with no defenseman though. Double punt now. You've got Gudbranson and McDonough. Good production out of both of those guys. Correlated goalie. So kind of a unique build, but ended up working out for this user. We'll see if that ends up standing. But right now, BR Chief is your 10K winner in the 50K twine. We can go back to the overview page. I saw Alex had a handful of lineups up there. It looks like he's had a nice little stretch recently. Just looking at his exposures, he obviously incorporates ownership projections in a different way. So he was heavy on Montreal 1. And actually looking at his top exposed players, I know he had flat ownership. You got some spike scores down here, but man, not great. And so that's why he's also one of the best. When he doesn't hit on his top owned players, he still has competitive lineups in every sport. It seems like in MLB he does this all the time, and you're seeing it kind of here. Not great scores out of his top few highest exposed guys, but was able to get one up into the top 10, and that's really kind of the style that a lot of us are trying to play with some of the top heavy nature, while also getting back a good chunk of your entry fees as he did here. These are my lineups. I right now finished in 14th. We can check out my exposures. Ran some power play stacks. That's Alex's. Yossi, shockingly, my top exposed. He was pretty disappointing. It would have been nice for him to get us a bonus, but can't have that every slate. He's going to have down games. So San Jose actually ended up being one of my, my highest exposed stack, but I was still under the field on them. I didn't even anticipate to get to this much of them. And they dudded pretty hard. San Jose 4 scored a handful of goals. Marlowe, double dong. I think Stefan Nason, I think he had multiple goals as well in that game. New Jersey kind of came on towards the end. I actually needed, one of my better lineups had an Ottawa 2 stack. Actually, a bunch of my best lineups had Ottawa 2 stacks. So I had Hogberg with them. It would have been nice if he would have got the win. But I suppose I need to settle for the 50 saves that he got in the OT loss. You get points for that on DK. But I was heavily invested in that New Jersey Ottawa game. It ended up coming around in the third period. It was 2-1 heading in to the third. We got a full line goal from New Jersey won. Get a few extra points for that's a funny comment from Turk in Slack, and also very true. The shootout bonus, I don't understand why they do the shootout bonus, but Severson at the combo meal, didn't see that coming. Yeah, I know. I was on the wrong guy. I don't even know. So I had a bunch of Vatanen. I did get off of him a little bit, but I still had 13%. He was one of my highest owned defensemen after the top guys. And man, would have been nice to have a little bit of Severson. I think could have been a pretty special night if that were the case. But picked the wrong guy. That's all right. Vancouver, too. They were a little bit higher than what we expected, but that ended up working out pretty well. I was hoping the stat correction was adding more points to one of the Vancouver guys, but looks like that's not going to be the case. But yeah, pretty kind of a weird slate, but ended up being okay for me in this tournament. Almost breaking even. I'll take that most nights in this tournament. In between the big nights is what you're trying to do here. And it wasn't like I was all that close in this tournament. I was 20 points away. So, yeah, all things considered, pretty good for me personally. And then in this tournament, if things ended right now, I'd finish fourth. Been playing some more of this $33 or $40 tournament. Alex right now in first place. Matthews, Tavares, Zach Hyman. Unconventional. Wow. So Tavares won off with two-man Matthews, and then Jesper Bratt, Palmieri, Heischer. So he ended up getting there in the end. Uncorrelated goalie. Shattenkirk and Severson was the big piece here for Alex. So nice lineup. 2.6% owned Damon Severson. Ended up working out for him, at least right now. My top lineup in this tournament was, again, Ottawa 2 plus Vancouver 2, correlated with Yossi. Would have been nice to get a little bit more out of these guys, but what can you do? And I noticed a lot of my lineups last night were also leaving a bunch of salary on the table. So on DK, it's 50K is your max. So I left 2,200 on the table just for the sake of correlation. I figured no one would really have this combo, and people were kind of off Ottawa 2 entirely, while the Ottawa top line was, 3, 4, 5 times more chalky depending on the tournament. So I thought it was maybe a decent spot to get a couple Ottawa 2 lineups, and almost ended up working out really well for me. But right now, slight profit on last night, so I will definitely take that. Didn't play on FanDuel last night, but we should always take a look now that we've got the data. Another familiar name, Osmo, up at the top. Blind Stagger took it down. Matthews, Nylander, Sandin, 0.8% owned defenseman. So you have your Damon Severson. I raised you a Rasmus Sandin, 24.8 points on FanDuel. Didn't really matter about Fabro. And then Cirelli, Stamkos, JT Miller one off, Kyle Palmieri one off. So not the most correlated lineup. In fact, not that correlated at all outside of Matthews and Nylander. I suppose you can throw in Sandin. But picked seemingly all the right spots outside of Cirelli, near min salary, Fabro. Didn't really matter when you had 35, 33, 26, 36 out of your goalie. Matthews did his thing per usual. So sometimes you just hit the nut one-offs. Bunch of people up at the top with just one lineup, and always nice to see that when guys, you can take this tournament down. You can take the big tournaments down. It can happen with one lineup. I wouldn't necessarily recommend playing one lineup, but it does happen. Let's look at the high stakes real quick. one-man Wolfpack, guy who plays a lot of NHL. 138.1. Low-scoring night last night for a 6-game slate. That's what happens when the chalk completely busts in San Jose 1. I wonder if Slufa was heavy on the Sharks. Yep, very heavy on the Sharks. Wow. So 6 out of 7 of Slewfoot's lineups in this tournament were San Jose 1. That's kind of crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? So I have a way to grade out lineups, right? And I'm thinking of playing like the 222 tonight along with the normal stuff. And I use uniques in FC, but I'm seeing a few of my top lineups, like they're basically the same. Like 5 of the forwards are the same. I don't know how I feel about that even on a 2-game slate. Like, man, I would be looking to get a little bit more differentiation, even if it may, like, even if I took my first, third, and 7th best lineups or whatever. Just for the sake of being different in all 3 of them in a lower total entry tournament, so 249. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would want to be a little bit different, but obviously Slewfoot knows what he's doing. One of the best players. So interesting to see that strategy. Maybe I shouldn't care about that. Like, maybe I shouldn't care about playing. For example, let's say if my top lineups tonight were all some combo of St. Louis 1 with Buffalo 1. Like, maybe you just play that. Maybe if those are the 3 top lineups, maybe you just play those. So that looks like maybe Slewfoot has something like that, or just thought that the spot for San Jose 1 was can't miss. But yeah, I always wonder about that. What to do with your higher stakes stuff compared to your MME stuff. So haven't really mastered that. I don't know if I've mastered anything, but certainly need to figure that out if I'm going to play some of these higher stakes games every once in a while. I see a bunch of you have popped in right now. A bunch of you hitting the like button. That is very much appreciated. As always, if you could, give us a like, that would be helpful, but also hit the notification bell, and you'll know when we go live. Follow us on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify and all the other places you can catch us. If you want to write a review, that would also be very helpful as we try to grow our podcasting, get bigger and put out better content for you guys. So thank you for that. Let's talk about the slate. First game, I think probably the more interesting game. Maybe some potential chances for late swap. Event-based sport, this isn't like you're not going to have everything in hand. You're going to have 2 periods under your belt with Buffalo and Ottawa. So maybe you could make a couple swaps if need be. But yeah, I would almost like these games spaced out even a little bit more, so we kind of know where we stand after the first game, and you can swap if need be. But you're going to have some information. Specifically, I think if you fade Buffalo 1, and they go off at what we expect to be very chalky ownership, you're going to want to maybe make a Hail Mary pivot here and there in your lineups. So 2.6 implied total for the Sens, 3.5 for the Sabres. Craig Anderson and Linus Ullmark are your goalies. Ottawa played last night. They lost, kind of a heartbreaker, to New Jersey. So Eichel, Reinhart, Jurgensen, Skinner back for Buffalo with Marcus Johansson and Michael Frolik makes them a little bit more easy on the eyes from a DFS perspective. Skinner, pretty good price at 5,200. That line is 3 wings, but I'm not running a ton of 3-3s tonight, so I don't think it's going to matter for me personally. with the two mans, you can go Skinner and Frolik and get your one-off center elsewhere. Skinner and Johansson, Johansson, I think it is, not Johansson. But anyways, probably going to see a lot of Eichel, Reinhart against Peugeot, Kachuk, and Duclair. I don't know that it's going to be a hard match situation. I just think that those two lines are going to play a lot, and so they'll just by default end up on the ice against each other. And it's pretty concentrated as far as it's pretty easy to identify who the top lines are. So anyways, I think you're going to see a lot of that. Reinhart. That's right. I'm back from break. I'm rusty. No one to correct me on the other side, but that seems like, while I hate Buffalo 1 in general, they're not good numbers. It is a 2-game slate. I think Eichel's the best play on the slate by a pretty wide margin. He's going to be my highest exposed player by a pretty wide margin. He's going to be a lot of my one-offs. I will have him with, two mans with Reinhart and Jurgensen. He'll be all over, scattered all over my lineups in every different way you can imagine. So looking to have upwards of 80% of him. I'm maxing the $10. This is talking about MME. He'll probably be in most of my higher stake stuff, the 33 and the 222 if I play it. I just think that the ownership for him specifically doesn't matter that much. He projects way better than everyone else on this slate. So when that's the case, I'm usually okay just eating the ownership, take the raw points, and I'll get different with my lineup elsewhere. For example, we have him 4.3 points higher than Brady Tkachuk for tonight, our second highest projected second highest projected skater on the slate. So what's up with Olsen? I don't remember. Man, I feel bad not remembering what's going on with him, but yeah, I'm assuming it's an injury. I don't know. I can't keep track of good teams, let alone the freaking Buffalo Sabres. So Eichel's the best player. He's the best play on the slate. I think he's out 5 to 6 weeks. Damn, that's too bad. Colin Miller jumping up to wing. Yeah. So you kind of know who to play on Buffalo. I think the top 6 is in play, but especially Eichel. I like Buffalo onslaughts, but everybody likes Buffalo onslaughts with the highest total on the slate, and the other game expected to play at a slower pace because you've got St. Louis there and they just slow everything down. High ankle sprain. Damn, that's tough. On the Ottawa side for forwards, I kind of like going back to this Tierney, Nemestikov, Connor Brown line. I know, Brown's playing a lot of minutes. I know he's Connor Brown, but he's playing a lot of minutes. He's getting opportunities. He's on the power play, although that's probably the second power play that's listed as the top. So yeah, I like Ottawa too. The top line is good as well, but I think as far as being overweight, I think I'm going to be more overweight on the second line for the Sens. Maybe they avoid a little bit. They avoid more time against Eichel is how I see it, and we've got him as pretty low ownership again. So I'm going right back there because the ownership is pretty low. If the ownership was more even between the two, or the pricing was closer, I'd probably, I of course lean to the top line, but don't think it's a elite matchup for really anyone on Ottawa. So I'll take the lower owned Ottawa 2 plus the lower priced Ottawa 2 to fit in more guys like Eichel, and there's a couple expensive defensemen in the other game as well. Now, Batherson as well, $2,500 if you want a one-off. That's really their top unit if they're going to go Peugeot, Kachuk on that unit. So to me, that's the top unit power play, 2,500. and does take quite a few shots. I don't know if the 5-on-5 opportunity is going to be that great playing with White and Ennis, but yeah, Nemesnikov stinks out loud. Yeah, he's not great for DFS, but he is low owned. And like Cliffy and I were saying yesterday, if I'm going to play someone in a bad spot, and I don't think this is a great spot for Ottawa, at least I want them to be low owned and or talented. And Nemestikov's got the low owned thing going for him. It's not like Buffalo's depth is all that scary. That's really the logic of it. It's not like I'm a big Vlad Nemestikov guy. Okay, defenseman on Ottawa. Riley is with the unit with... did they pay out just now? Let's see if my number changed. Nope, it did not change at all. So, did your guys' numbers change? I'm assuming you guys all looked at your contests. You doubled up. Nice. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's a nice little surprise. Yeah, I was hoping I would get a nice bump up, but I'll settle for exactly what I expected. So Riley, probably the guy you're looking to play more at 3,300. Did they end up not changing anything? There's no way they waited all that time. And okay, maybe they did change something. Some of you guys are saying that that they did change. Riley, $3,300. The new Savard, is he really? I don't know. He's still not a heavy target of mine. I think I still prefer, obviously, way different price, and it's going to change the entirety of your lineup. But I'd still rather get to Shabbat if I can. I mean, Riley's not playing big minutes or anything. It's not like he's a big block shot guy. Maybe he could get you one of the bonuses here, but really that top power play designation is going to help him out. And that's really what he's got going for him. On the other side, I'm playing... right now, if the slate started right now, I'd be playing a lot of Rasmus Dahlin, and I feel pretty terrible about it, seeing what Buffalo did in their morning skate. They're going with 7 defensemen again, and the problem with that is it's not like they're just playing Colin Miller on the wing. Like he's going to play defense, and so 7-man rotation, that's going to cannibalize some of the time for all these other guys. It's a good price for Dahlin. If you could get him close to 20 minutes, is he going to get to close to 20 minutes? That's the part I have no idea. If you told me he was playing 22 minutes tonight, I would have probably over 50% of him. He played almost 20 last game. He played 13-20, and 2 of those minutes were power play. Were on the power play 2 games ago. Like you just never know. Montour's been playing more lately. I don't know. So I think it's pretty likely he plays like 18 minutes in total. But if he plays 14 again, I don't know. And maybe that's not the biggest deal on a 2-game slate, but he's kind of the guy I like pairing. He was the guy initially I liked pairing with Eichel and Reinhart and my 2-mans and making it a 3-man with a defenseman on the power play with them. But I'm probably going to end up splitting it with Ristolainen. I'm probably going to be mixing in some Montour as well, just because I have no clue who's going to play a lot of minutes. I don't know. Could Colin Miller play 15 minutes? Sure, he could. So that's really annoying for Buffalo. So what I'm probably going to do again is just spread my Buffalo defensive exposure around because of the uncertainty and just because I have 90 lineups or whatever to mess around with for MME. Block shot. Yeah, they messed up on Gibson on DK. Yeah, nothing like delaying payouts for, 14 hours, 15 hours? for a block shot. Seems like they could have figured that out prior to just now, but who am I to say that? All right, let's go to the next game, the other game. Blues Flames 2.8 implied total for the Blues. 2.7 for the Blues. 2.8 for the Flames. Binnington expected to go. Allen went last night. Cam Talbot for the Flames. I was looking into this game some, and I'm just really confused why Monahan and Gaudreau stink this season together. They're at below average expected goals for per 60. This is a pretty big sample we're talking about. Now they have Derek Ryan on their wing. I don't know if someone's hurt for Calgary or what's going on. If I'm going to a full stack on Calgary, it's probably the Lindholm, Mangiapane, Tkachuk line just because they've been better. And you're probably going to get Mangiapane pretty low owned. In fact, let's go to this since we have here. Let's update this because we just got an update a little while ago. Mangiapane at 16% on a 2-game slate, 3,500. Seems pretty good. That also seems pretty good. Zach Sanford at 12%. So, there's a couple of guys actually catching my eye. Parayko should be way higher than this. I mean, I'm not saying we're wrong. I'm saying he should be higher. I think Riley might get bumped up. People have liked playing him. Anyways, I'm trying to think what I was going to talk about. The difference in ownership. Yeah, so Gaudreau with Monahan, and then Tkachuk and Lindholm, the power play 1 guys. Like, if we're expecting Tkachuk and Lindholm to be lower owned, and I know it's marginal, it's not that big of a deal when you're talking about over 25% owned guys, but on a 2-game slate, everything still counts. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, Tkachuk and Lindholm and Mangiapane have a sample of being solid together. They're probably going to get the tougher matchup, but I don't know what that means. I mean, maybe they think the tougher matchup is Shen Schwartz. Maybe they're going to put him in a shutdown role. And, give me some of that. I don't really want a line going up against O'Reilly, and maybe that's who they're going to go up against. But with that uncertainty, I'll take the lower owned Tkachuk and Lindholm, especially just because I think they've been better. Monahan and Gaudreau have just been so poor. Just over 2 expected goals for per 60. I know they've had some musical chairs going on as far as who they're playing with, but they've been able to get it done in years past, and this year has not been the case. Going back to the game, O'Reilly, Perron, and Sanford had some pretty nasty numbers together last night. Their numbers overall aren't great, but I think they could do it again, especially if we don't see a hard match against the Lindholm line here. Maybe they see some time against Monahan and Gaudreau. That would be fantastic. So I like that line as a full stack. I think a little bit better than Shen Schwartz and Kyrou. But the Blues are fine. I have much more interest in the first game, just overall exposure wise. So I'm looking for secondary pieces in this game mostly. I'm still going to crunch out 3-mans of all these top 6 lines and see what my ranking system likes the best. But right now it is a ton of Eichel, and it's O'Reilly, Perron, 2-mans, O'Reilly, Sanford, leaving off Perron, I'm getting some of that. And then kind of the Shen Schwartz Kyrou line is lagging behind a little bit for me. Oh, Kyrou's getting scratched? Sammy Blais? Oh, that could change some things. Okay, they activated Sammy Blais off injured reserve. What's his price? Because it's not that big of a deal, right? I'm assuming he's probably min salary, but let me check on this. Sammy Blais, yeah, he's min salary. So you could just swap him off of Kyrie. You could swap him off whoever. If he goes with Samford, if he goes with O'Reilly and Perron, you could swap down there. Yeah, I wonder who gets scratched. He could be on the fourth line. I have no idea what the Blues are going to do. So maybe we'll get word prior to lock. I'm trying to read Twitter right now and see if any of the beats are speculating about where he's going to be. I don't see anything. Would assume so. Okay, so they're asking if he's going to play. Jeremy Rutherford says he would assume so we'll wait for warm-ups. All right, so just be aware of that. Min salary over on DK, so not the biggest deal. You're just going to want to see where he slots in. Everything matters on a 2-game slate. Like everyone that's playing matters to some extent. Yeah, so I think I prefer the Blues overall, but why does Osmo have all the Calgary stacks ranked as NA? So I update the projections. That's likely an error that I just didn't catch. So I'll look at that after the show. I'll get that updated if it needs to be, which it sounds like it does. Third lines, Blues third line, they've had a couple big games together. I don't know that they're that great, but they've got some names, Bozak, Thomas, Steen. It doesn't really move the needle for me. Buddy Robinson call up for the Flames. That doesn't really do much for me. Gio, 6K, probably because I'm not, I'm going to back off of Dahlin a little bit. 6K Gio, I know it's not a great spot, but he's shown some flashes of last year's Gio, and that's huge for a 2-game slate, just for like raw points wise. Like we've seen him hit the 5-shot bonus, we've seen him hit the 3 block shots bonus. He's a candidate for the combo meal more than probably anyone on this slate. So I like it. The minutes are safe. The price is solid. It's not like you need to pay up a ton anyways. So I'm going to end up fitting in a ton of Gio. I already had a ton of Gio before, but him and Pietrangelo are probably going to be top 3 owned defensemen for me tonight. I just want the raw points. I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of lineups with them together, because I think if you do that, you're probably going to be more, like if you do this, you're going to be more likely to be duped unless you're just like one-offing everywhere. Because if you're stacking and putting those guys together, unless your one-off or 2-man is just, something completely crazy, you're probably, you got a pretty good chance of being duped. And that's half the battle. Not half the battle. That's part of the battle on these 2-game slates. Projections matter, but ownership projections are very important for these. So lucky for you guys, they are free today. Parayko at 4,300. I think that's maybe one of the best ownership spots on the night. If we're only expecting sub 5% ownership on him, and even if it's 8%, even if it's double what we have, then I still think Parayko is probably too low. You don't play him like he's not great for his offense, right? But block shots, he does have offensive capabilities, and he's going to play minutes regardless. When he's in the lineup, he's going to play 20 minutes. So I like him quite a bit, not on the power play. I think that's, even better, right? That he doesn't have a power play designation, because people just won't look that way. Lucic? Oh, okay. I see the problem. I don't have someone listed as the... Got it. I'll fix that after the slate, because Lucic is supposed to be up there. Other guys to target. Justin Falk has been playing minutes. He's 3,800. If he's going to continue to play with Pietrangelo, you could probably do worse than him. And then on the Calgary side, it's pretty much Gio, and that's really about it. It's gross after him. Player TJ Brody. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. I like Hannafin for 3,200. That was one guy I actually made a point of to try to mention. I do like Hannafin, and then Hamonic. This is kind of the perfect kind of slate to at least consider him, right? For 3,700. He, too, is not on the power play. But he does block shots. He can give you that bonus, and he can be a top 5 scoring defenseman on the slate by scoring 10 DK points. So, yeah, kind of disregard what I said about nothing after Mark Giordano. I was more thinking of Brody. Brody's not my guy, nor really is Rasmus Anderson. I'm done. Yeah, I'm about done too. It looks like we got over 100 people in here. If you guys could hit the like button, that would be very helpful. Nice to see over 100 for a 2-game slate. Did not really expect that. If there's anything else you would like me to talk about, feel free to drop it in chat. Or, if you want to talk about goalies, I suppose we can. You guys kind of know my take on goalie in general, but just want to run over to Yahoo really quick. If you haven't tried out Yahoo, promo code OSMO is how you get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Yahoo is the sponsor of the show. We love that they support us, and I specifically love the low management fees that you're going to find. So when I play basketball, I play some over on Yahoo. Nice. Osmo logo. There you go. 5K up top tonight. This is about as big as some of these NHL contests that you're seeing on like DraftKings and FanDuel. Like FanDuel's biggest contest most nights is 5K to first. So if you like playing NBA, and you're dabbling into it, use the projections on the site and go play this baller. Go play the $1, the $3, bunch of 10 max stuff over on Yahoo. So no excuse. If you don't MME, Yahoo is the perfect site for you. And if you do MME, they've got CSV edit. So it's also the perfect site for you. Yeah, 40% likes. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, Super Bowl promo code LIV, LIV, to get all access Osmo Plus monthly for $54. That is a $90 value. Well, $90 minus 5 cents. Yeah, you're hoping for assists with Dahlin. I switch it up every time. But you are hoping for assists from him. But, if just from a correlation standpoint, I know correlation isn't the end-all be-all, especially not on a 2-game slate. But if I'm playing a ton of Eichel and I'm using uniques, I'm not going to play, a 1v1 on all my lineups. Like, he's going to get included if he's going to get this top power play designation. Same thing with the other Rasmus, the Ristolainen. If they're going to play on the top power play with Eichel and he does some damage there, I want exposure to everything. I want to capture all the points if Eichel does do the scoring or, Reinhart does do the scoring. So that's my thing with him. It'll end up getting split. I will temper my expectations for Dahlin, and Ristolainen and all these garbage Sabres. Going to get some Skinner one-offs, that's for sure. Boy, pretty ugly slate, even for a 2-gamer. We've had some good 2-gamers in recent memory, but this is not necessarily not a great one. But at least you'll probably know close to where you stand once you get 2 periods here, and you'll know where you're at going into this game for the most part, which is good. So, good luck tonight, everybody, and thanks for watching. It will be Nolan and myself tomorrow. We'll look and see how many games there are. I think we've got 6 or 7, I want to say. 6 games tomorrow. That will be, it'll be a later lock. It'll be 7:30 Eastern lock. And then, man, I keep wishing that DK or FanDuel or someone will put some quality night slates. I'd love to play the night slate like tomorrow. There's 4 games starting at 10 Eastern tomorrow night. Like, that'd be a really fun slate to have kind of a second, featured slate going on. And they just, no matter what, whether it's a 3-game slate, whether it's a 2-game slate, they just don't put out quality late slates for NHL. Like, they just don't even care. They fill early, like they fill it 45 minutes early every time. So hoping that someone will put out a good slate, because I will definitely play that tomorrow. I'm looking to play as many slates as possible before the end of the season. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Go check out the cheat sheets if you want some more free stuff. Ownership projections, are also free today. Here you go. And I will catch you back tomorrow with Nolan. Good luck.